Get your rub on with
Hello, everyone. This is the Addicted to the Q podcast, sponsored by King Louis Meat Apostle. We're sitting here with Heath Riles. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm good, Bradley. How about you?
Not too bad. Busy day at work, so getting kind of through that. You'd think it was a Monday.
Know how that is. Exactly.
So first
It is
off, unless
Monday.
everybody's been living on, that is very true. So first off, unless everyone's living under a rock, say your name and your team name.
My name's Heath Riles, and I'm Heath Riles BBQ.
So what made you start in barbecue and competing?
Well, when I was in high school, a friend of mine's uncle had a KCBS barbecue team, and at the time, he had went through a divorce, and I was hanging out with his nephew a lot. We were best friends in school, and we decided we were going to go with him to a barbecue contest and drink cold beer and cook some barbecue. And it just kind of turned into, after we graduated, we kind of borrowed one of his grills and done it on our own. And I kind of just went with it. I liked it. And I was used to helping my dad and different ones cook. And he was on the fire department and done butt fundraisers and chicken fundraisers and stuff, And I don't know, it's just something I started out in my local town doing, and it kind of progressed as I moved and got bigger and bigger.
So, what was your first contest? I think you might have said it, but which one? Which one was it?
It was there in my local town of Ashland, Mississippi, there where we were from, and that's about 45 minutes outside of Memphis. It used to be two small KCBS contests there every year, one in the spring, one in the fall, and so I won't say it was a fall contest that we entered first, maybe the September contest, but in 1997 was my first one.
Oh wow, you've been competing for a while.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, how did you do on your first contest?
I don't remember where we placed, but I think it was like maybe 17th, 18th, 19th. It was not dead last. We was nowhere near even in the bottom of the pack. But we had kind of had a little mentor from Don. He didn't do very well. He won a few local contests, but when I first started, like now everybody's using chicken thighs or chicken legs. We were still cooking chickens and cutting them up, putting 2 legs, 2 wings, 2 thighs, and 2 breast pieces in the box. That's how long I've been cooking ACBS and stuff like that. And then in 2007, about 10 years went by. That's when I got involved with MBN when it was born, when it broke off from Memphis in May, and they started that sanctioning body. I got involved with that and started cooking.
Nice. Didn't Memphis and May kind of have their own sanctioning body before that?
They did. They were sanctioning about 300 contests, I believe, all across really the Southeast. And they just decided one day that they were going to quit sanctioning contests and only do Memphis in May, the World Championship. And if somebody else wanted to take it over, they could. So actually 5 different sets of reps. They're all married couples. All in month started the Memphis Barbecue Network in 2006. And that's how the Memphis Barbecue Network was kind of born off of MIM. They didn't want all those contests to go away. And over the years, it's progressed and changed into all blind until finals to make it easier on somebody to cook and all that type of stuff. But it's an all organization, whole hog, shoulders or butts and ribs. And it used to be only whole shoulders, and they changed the rule like in 2015, 2016, some 2017, something there to where you could cook butts or shoulders, just because it got to be a cost standpoint for a lot of teams.
But Memphis and May still requires whole shoulders, doesn't they?
They do. They still require whole shoulders when you cook. And the hog has to be at least, I think, 85 pounds is the bare minimum the hog can be, but most was cook 140 up in most instances.
So, which competition that you've cooked is your favorite?
I mean, Memphis in May is fun, but it's a lot of logistical work and a lot of planning and a lot of costs that go into that. And one of my favorite contests is going to be Murfreesboro, Illinois. It's going to be Praise the Lord. It's going to be the contest that Mike Mills founded. And it's in September every year. It's a great contest. I mean, that was my first grand championship on my own. And I don't know, I just kind of, they give away huge gift baskets and beer and liquor and whole pies or cookies and all that in the gift baskets. I mean, it's a gift basket. It takes 2 people, bags of charcoal, drinks, and they really are really hospitable to the teams. Do a big food spread. The band comes through the area where all the teams are at. I mean, it's just a phenomenal contest, and it pays good.
Nice.
Is that KCBS and MBN combined? Is that contest?
It is. It's KCBS and MBN combined. There's only about 4 or 5 of those throughout the country. Big contests combined like that.
I bet that's a logistical nightmare trying to get everything turned in at times. And
I mean, not if you're organized. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to actually win both on the same day before. Actually, 2 different occasions at 2 different contests the same day, and I won a grand in reserve in Galax, Virginia the same day. So
wow.
I've had some contests like that, and I've went back to back at KCBS contests doing grand and reserve, back to back days. Been very fortunate, very blessed with that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So how many smokers and grills do you have, and what are they? I think I've seen a video of your back cooking. Makes me envious.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's what's on my patio. I have an Outlaw patio model, which is a stick burner. I've got an Alpha pizza oven, all-wood burning unit, a big one, deep fryer, Traeger, what else? Like a Golden's cast iron, which is like an egg, but it's all cast iron, gas grill, flat top, PK, a drum. I think that's what's all on my patio right now. And there's another drum, a Deep South. I'm trying to think here. And maybe like a little charcoal grill and a Weber in my garage. The Weber's on the patio now. And then we go to my shop. I have 3 Outlaws out there, a porch model, a cart model, and a BFO. I have 2 Hickory. I've got a Backwoods old hog cooker. I've got another Deep South 42 gravity fed. Got some other PKs and smaller grills. I go to the Duck Club. I've got Santa Maria grills and 2 Traegers over there. I go to the hunting camp. I've got a Traeger, a couple of those there. So you can kind of see I got a little bit of a problem.
I was going to say, are you married? Because my wife wouldn't, I don't know. I have a limit apparently of how many I can buy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been very fortunate, very blessed. I've got a good woman that supports me, and a lot of the grills I've just acquired over the years and not sold. I've sold 1 grill over the years that I built myself that I wish I wouldn't have, and it was kind of, I needed the money to put down on the backwoods at the time in my younger career, and I sold that grill for like $1,000, and it was 5 foot long and had a firebox on it. Kind of built like a Jambo almost. Gotcha. And that was before I knew what Jambo was. I mean, it didn't have an insulated firebox or nothing. Just stick burner. And I had built it and got the pipe myself and bought a welder and a torch. And I took welding in school. And that was like when I was 18, 19, I built it myself. And I really wish I had that grill left.
I love the comment. Dang, what size is your patio?
Yeah, I think the patio is like a 24 by 40, I think is right, my patio size.
It seemed nice whenever you had the video of you showing everybody what your cookers were.
I appreciate it. It's a nice bar out there in the backdrop. It's mostly just all grills though, and it's covered and you got a fireplace. I mean, we very blessed, very lucky to be able to have something like that.
So if you could add one that you don't have, which does not seem like very many, what kind would it be?
I would love to have another like a great Santa Maria grill with a rotisserie built on it and all that, like a live fire grill. Or kind of wanting one of the new Outlaws that he's built that you shovel coals under.
Yeah.
And I've cooked on several of them, he's got and all that. And we went and cooked a contest on one and won it last year in Murfreesboro. But I wouldn't mind having one like that you can shovel the coals underneath of, or maybe another direct heat cooker you can shovel the coals under, like a square box or something, just something different to play with.
Before I always said I wanted a Jambo, but I think Outlaw would be the top of my list if I wanted a stick burner to shovel coals under.
Yeah. I mean, those Outlaws are really nice. They are. Jay does a great job at customizing them. Jambo's a great cooker too. I mean, there's so many top of the line cooker manufacturers out there now. I mean, the deal with me with Outlaw, Jay's good to me, builds quality products. There's not a lot of lead time, when you call him and you want something. And when I decide I want something, I want it right then and there when you buy it, you know what I mean? And so he builds it, and the little attention to detail of him putting corner piece on it with your initials on it, and, the handles with your logo on it. I mean, he really goes all out on stuff like that. So it's hard not to go with something like that.
So what do you cook on for competition?
It just kind of depends on where I'm going to cook at. I'm throw on the trailer. I mean, Memphis in May, I competed on the Outlaw, my BFO. Some KCBS contests, I may be going on Oldtree. I may go on all pellet grills. I may go, on drums and a pellet grill. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. I'm one of these types of guys that I've made it to a point in my career where I just like to have fun now. And it's more of a challenge. If I'm going to go cook on the same pit, the same recipe every single time, I mean, hell, let's face it. I mean, I know those recipes work, but I want to change it up and see if I can hit with another flavor profile or do something that somebody else is not doing. I'll take a stab at it. I mean, that's what I like doing now. I mean, just thinking outside the box and teaming up. Me and Malcolm's had some conversations, and he didn't get to go to the last one, but me and Mark Williams and Jay from Tennessee Mojo and several others went to that Murfreesboro contest with Jay from Outlaw. And we just had a blast. And so not being responsible for nothing but really one pro leader, kind of overseeing everything and just being together and hanging out with your buddies and drinking a cold beer. I'm kind of more into that now than I am going out and trying to be really competitive. You know what I mean? I'm having more fun on the side of the business of sales and distribution and doing cooking videos, just having fun.
Well, you're kind of at the point in your barbecue career where you've about done what you had to do, so you can kind of take a step back and enjoy, like you said, the marketing and the barbecue side of things and have more fun with it.
It is. I want to do events and stuff, and I think eventually we're going to get into holding a rib shootout. I mean, I'm sure both of you know I love cooking ribs.
Yep.
It's the best, stuff, I guess, work online, whatever you want to say, images and pictures and performance and all that. And so I would really like to do a rib shootout. I wouldn't cook it myself, of course, since I was the one hosting it, but I would like to do you see Grills of Mississippi doing the wing contest. You see the Steak Association doing, steak, and they have success and stuff. I don't want to go out and copy this here, nothing like that. I'd tag along with them, but I'd want to do a shootout to where it's a $10,000 rib purse, draw in some teams and let's do something, not a $1,500 deal. I want to draw big names in and let everybody go at it. You know what I mean? And even maybe do a backyard division of that where we have a backyard rib and a pro rib. And
that'd be fun.
Test really that you can't cook the backyard side. I mean, because I like the backyard guys and been able to sell them and just focus on those guys and have some fun with it, not be scared to come out and hang out with the pros and could meet people like Myron Mixon or, Matt from Meat Church or Cosmo or anybody else. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to meet everybody these days. I think having those guys there and having some fun and doing things like that would be just something different.
Yeah.
So what was cooking Memphis in May like? Or what is cooking Memphis in May like?
Pure chaos, man. It's I'm gonna say, I would say organized chaos, but it's a logistical nightmare. Loading in, loading out, getting your stuff in, getting it out, and then just depending on where it's at, whether last year was a Tiger Lane, but like being on the river, just like I said, the logistical nightmare. You can only go in one way, and you have to exit the other way, and you have to wait on people because of lines and get in. You can't be too long, and so I try to have everything packed in trailers ready to go. When I make a trip through there, I'm going early in the morning to drop something off, and that's it. If I need to do that. A lot of these people hadn't figured that out yet, and they wait till lunchtime, and you have to have your vehicles out by like 2 o'clock on certain days or 3 o'clock, and it's always so clogged up. So little tips and little tricks like that always works well. But I mean, Memphis in May is fun, but it's a nightmare. It will wear you out. Just the amount of people, that comes by, and everybody's looking to party, and let's face it, just party. And I've made it to a point in my career where I drink a cold beer, but it's a casual beer. I want to go home by 5 or 6 o'clock and get my rest and get my sleep and come back out here to be able to do well at a big contest
Yeah.
like that. Staying up and getting drunk all night and not going to bed. I've had those days before, and so now for me, it's kind of like being one of the old heads. I'm leaving out of that park by no later than 6 o'clock going home. And so when the sun goes down, all the partying and drinking, they can have it. And I tell my guys that are on the team with me that hang out at Memphis and May with me, y'all can stay here as long as you want. I'll even buy the beer for you. But when I get here in the morning, there better not be a mess made, and my stuff better be ready to go that I've got organized in the back. And
Yep.
they're all good about that and clean and neat freaks, because if you start clean, you finish clean. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I'm starting to realize. If you got to clean and pick stuff up as you go, or it just becomes an utter mess by turn-ins.
It will be so bad if you don't. And then you're like so tired that you don't want to clean any of it. And you want to throw it in the cooler and let it sit there. And then a week, 3 days go by, and you're like, man, I got to go out here and get these dirty dishes out of here. We wash all our dishes as we mess them up. And I buy as much throwaway stuff as possible to throw away that I don't have to wash.
That's what I do.
Yep.
It's the best thing to do, man. The best thing.
So was
How was
last year?
Oh, go
was
ahead.
last year?
Go ahead.
So was last year your first rib victory in Memphis in May, or have you won ribs other times?
No, that wouldn't be my second time to cook ribs down there, honestly. I've always cooked hog and shoulder and walked the stage. I think there's been 1 year, maybe two, that I finished 11th or 13th or something and didn't walk it. But I've cooked ribs one other time, and it's made it to a point where ribs have not won that thing in 20 years, and it's time for somebody to do it. And I'm a hard-headed guy that likes going against the odds. I'm not going to say hog is easier, but when you're only competing against 30 teams or 40 versus 75 to 100 on rib, and just everything that happens, it's a lot harder to win with the rib, or rib would be right there with hog and shoulder. And so I would sure like to be the person that done it. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to throw everything at the kitchen sink at it. I know where I made some mistakes last year. And so I'm going to go back swinging and just see what happens.
Nice.
Can you only cook one category while you're there? Does it have to be one of the three?
One category down there. Yep. That's a big one.
So I've also heard you kind of have to build your own spot too, like your own flooring and your own kind of setup in Memphis in May. Is that true, or is that?
I mean, you have to have a tent with a fire code, so you can, all these 10 by 10 tents will work, and you don't have to have any. Everybody's got the misconclusion of Memphis in May. You've got to have a big setup. And you've got to do this. There's guys that come from out of town like Tuffy Stone. He pulls his Jambo up, pops up. He usually rents like a 15 by 15 commercial tent, and sometimes he puts down the floor, sometimes he don't. You know what I mean? And that's it. And they throw up a divider wall and have a little kitchen in the back and a little area out front. You don't need a lot at Memphis in May to do all that. I mean, I put up a tent, and if it's on dirt, I do put down a floor. I rent a floor from them. They have a rental company, and that way I'm not walking in any mud or anything like that. And I just pull my trailer or pit on one side, tent, and a wall up to have somewhere to build a blind box and all in the back and prep and just make the area out front kind of nice. I have a bar that I carry with me, and all that to seat the judges at. I set around a couple potted plants I buy at Lowe's and call it a day. That's it. I don't do anything special or anything like that.
Nice.
Well, it seems like the people that have cooked it the longest kind of realize that.
Yeah, a lot of these people that go out of their way and do all these 2-story booths and all this shit. I mean, I hate to say it, but you don't see them walking the stage. I mean, they may get on stage, but they're not competitive. Big tents don't usually do that well. I think you need to be focused in and I mean, let's face it. If I want to go below 15 grand, I'll go do it at the casino where I got a better chance of winning it. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down there to be serious and, have some fun in the same sense.
Yep. So do you cook primarily MBN or do you cook a mixture of MBN, KCBS, or is there any other sanctioning bodies that you cook?
I cook a mixture. I used to do a bunch of SCA too, but now I don't do but about 3 to 4 contests a year. That's it. I usually do South Haven Spring Fest. I usually do Memphis May, and I usually do Murfreesboro, Illinois. And sometimes I throw one more in there, like the American Royal or, some other local deal around here to go to. I might go to Virginia this year to Galax. But yeah, we just don't have the time anymore shooting the video content that we shoot now and trying to handle sales and distribution and all that. We don't have the time to go stay gone on the road. There's a lot of those contests you have to start prepping on Tuesday and you leave out on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning really early and you don't get back to Sunday night. And, with a newborn at home, son graduating, and having several employees to manage every day, it's kind of hard to do that week in, week out. I can't go run 35 to 40 contests a year anymore. Nor do I want to.
Well, heck, every contest takes a toll. I don't see how some of these guys can do that many a year. It's just, I know for me, if I did that many, it would start not getting fun. It would not be fun for me. So
I will tell you, you get in a rhythm though. After you get so many under your belt and you get down, like I had it down when I took meat out of the cooler by the minute, how I seasoned it, how precise I was, how it went on. I mean, I had a system that was just percent. You take somebody like Brad getting basic. He cooks 45, 50 contests a year. I mean, he's going to be consistent. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. If you go out and you cook 5 to 8 contests a year, unless you're just really, really honed in on your skill, it's going to be hit and miss. I mean, but if you're cooking 30 to 50 contests a year, if you're not winning, you shouldn't be cooking, in my opinion. I mean, you're just blowing money for no reason.
Yep.
And I think we all know these guys that go out here and cook 40 contests a year and they never win a championship and they're drunk on Thursday and Friday and Saturday the whole time. And if I was going to do that, I could find something else to spend $2,500 a weekend on sometimes.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd drink beer in my backyard if that was the case.
For $25.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your favorite meat to cook?
I'm going to have to go with ribs.
Ribs.
Ribs
Ribs and brisket are my definitely favorites.
I don't know why. I mean, I love brisket and stuff like that, but I don't know ribs. It's, the whole 3-2-1 method of everybody taking it takes 6 hours. I mean, I'm about a 3.5 hour man on ribs. I mean, that's it for me. And they work perfect for me. So I don't know. I just like a rib, man. I'm not up for, I guess one reason I've migrated toward ribs, I was tired of being up all night on whole hog. Whole hog is the mecca of barbecue. I agree. But at the end of the day, it's hard. It's a lot of waste, and a lot of cleanup. And generally find there's nobody wanting to help you. And when you cook ribs, you can do it on your own, not depend on anybody. You can get a good night's sleep. You can get up the next morning and throw them on and go on and do it. It's not that big of a deal. But a whole hog, it's a lot of work. Trimming, injection, cooking, clean up. You're up all night long. And you still got to do something with all that mess and all those bones and all that grease at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can't manhandle a hog by yourself very easily.
No, it's probably why my back's in the shape it is now.
So, what's your favorite barbecue restaurant that you have been to, either in the U.S. or out of the U.S.?
That's easy. I'm I'm partial to some local ones here. I love Memphis Barbecue Company as far as competition style rib that I don't have to cook. I think they've got one of the best ones out there. But it's hard for me not to gravitate to Valentino's in Austin, Texas. I don't know why I fell in love with that place, but it's absolutely amazing. He has amazing queue. But man, there's restaurants out there that some barbecue places that are, you take Pains in downtown Memphis or Cozy Corner, excuse me. There's Pains here, different ones, but even like Q39, Slaps Barbecue in Kansas City is phenomenal. David Steadman's restaurant shut down, unfortunately, but it was great outside of St. Louis. You got Pappy's in St. Louis. You got Q49, Skip Steele that left Pappy's once they sold and went back to his hometown in Jonesboro and opened up a place. And I'm going to tell you, it's spot on the money. So it's a lot of good barbecue places around. A lot.
Yeah, I went to Austin last summer, but I went to Fred Franklin's. But I want to go back, just some different.
You got to go to Hayes
try that
County.
place.
You need to go to Black's. You need to go to San Marcos. I mean, it's so many great barbecue places open up now. I need to get back to Texas. There's been 5 or 6 new ones open up that are really, it's already made the Texas top monthly 50 and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's Texas has got its own style and own difference, and it's just so much more unique and old school out in Texas versus anywhere else in the country.
Yep.
They still appreciate that wood-fired barbecue. You know what I mean?
Yep. I just want to go for a week or two and just do nothing but tour barbecue in Texas.
You could do it. I promise you. It's a lot of joints to hit. A lot. You can't pass a road that there ain't a barbecue roadside stand somewhere. A lot of them are just have unique sausages and styles, and that's what's so unique about Valentina's. If you go, you really need to go to breakfast there and have the real deal Holyfield breakfast taco. Fatty slice of brisket, refried beans, slice of bacon, sunny side up egg, and a drizzle of his like spicy salsa, and it's life changing.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah, on a homemade fresh tortilla that was pressed out and put on the grill right then and there.
Ooh,
that does sound really good.
Yeah.
Really so, good. What made you decide to start making your own line of rubs, injections, and sauces?
Hell, I wanted to win. That's easy. I honestly, I used a commercial line of rubs, and I thought to myself, well, I'm wanting a little more flavor. So I caught myself buying spices and adding to rubs. And then I was like, well, I can do this. Let me just make my own rub. This is easy here. Let's go 9, 10 ingredients, you know what I mean, and master them. And I got one rub down to a science, and I got it down to weighted and everything like they would need at a manufacturer, because they don't like having stuff in half cups or cups or all that. They want in weights and ounces. So I got one recipe perfected, and I thought to myself, well, if I got one perfected, now all I need to do is pull ingredients out and put ingredients in and start remanufacturing different styles of rubs. So I found a flavor manufacturer that I like, started getting peach flavoring and pecan flavoring and stuff, and started playing with it, because we've always cooked with pecan wood or hickory wood, right? And I thought to myself, well, if I could put a little kiss of this on the meat and play with it here, I may find something that's a little bit unique. And I think that's what I've tried to do with my rubs, is keep them unique, keep them different, and just do the right thing, honestly. And it's all worked out very good. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my career, but developing those rubs and sauces is one of the best things I think I've ever done. And why I made them is just something unique, and I wanted something with my name on them, and something that I done, and something, you always hear from people, and I'm sure, Brian, you're the same way. Oh man, you make the best barbecue. It's great. Your neighbors or whoever tells you, man, it's the best I ever had. I mean, and it's hard to get away from those moments like that, to not make something and manufacture it for somebody. I think that's what we look for, as that competitive side in us. We don't play high school sports anymore or anything like that. And so what else can a 350-pound man do? You know what I mean? Let's cook some food.
Yep. Yeah, we just came back from NBBQA, and my wife and I had an 18-and-a-half-hour drive of talking what our next step is with our company. what distribution, what level we're going to get to. Let's kind of look ahead and start stepping that way.
We used to go to a lot of NBBQA events. They're good. I really wish they would change. They're still stuck in the old rut of what they've always done. It's probably a better way to say it. And I think they need some new life breathed into it, maybe by some younger side of the business in a sense. And you probably seen that if that was your first time there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's organized chaos probably. And I think maybe they just need to hone in on a few specialties and segment out the segments of the barbecue business, because now you have so many different segments of it. You've got the influencer world, you've got the restaurant world, you've got the distribution side of the business, which covers products and stuff. And then you know, the affiliate side of people that's creating content and doing things that's not involved with any distribution or products or anything. And so, you know, when you've got the business like that now, and it's not just restaurants or not just distribution, I think that they're going to have to hone on in on that in order to really see it grow and excel like it needs to as a national organization.
Yeah. 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 It was fun. It was good for your first time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, got some good insight on it.
It's always a good time seeing all your barbecue friends and meeting people you've seen, internet people, and that I wish I could have made it. I mean, unfortunately, that was my anniversary week, so no, I was not coming in QA over my anniversary. Over a 10-year.
Unfortunately for me, it cut down the amount of time I was at the event and more time at Disney because the family knew where it was.
You gotta give and you gotta take a little bit. It's
That's
part of
right.
marriage.
I've done that too.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, just some of the insight I didn't know about was good. That's why I really wanted to hit this one up, just so I could learn a little bit more and help provide more of a direction where we're going. Since we're just a small rub company right now, we do want to get bigger, but it's taking the steps on the ladder and which ones we need to go to next.
Now, do you manufacture your own at home, or do you have a co-packer?
I have a co-packer, but they're small, and we're at that stage of jumping, but it's taking that leap going, okay, I know I don't need 500 pounds right now because I don't have that many shelves, but that's going to be a lot of money tied up. So it's do we take the leap and do it, or do we not and kind of stay where we're at and just keep throwing orders at them?
Well, let me know if you need some advice on that side. We can talk on a different line, and I can give you some different phone numbers and different connections to explore a lot of other options.
I appreciate it. I'll reach out through direct messaging to you, and we'll get connected.
Yeah, there's a lot of other options out there besides just certain manufacturers. I've learned that dealing with as much as we've dealt with. Some of them have high minimums and are not made for the small man to start out and stream up, stream. And I get it. I've been there before. It's always like helping anybody I can, because there's enough room in the market for everybody. I mean, let's face it. I'm sure you probably take the same motto as, hey man, we're going to use my stuff today and yours tomorrow and a combination of it the next day. I mean, and you're going to go on to Joe tomorrow and Tom the next, and so forth, so forth. I mean, everybody, especially backyard guys and home boys, everybody loves mixing everybody's stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got a lot of different, unique, and great flavors out there.
Yep. That's like I told my wife. She goes, why barbecue? I go, why church? She's like, what do you mean? I go, look where we're based. We're based Kansas City. How many barbecue restaurants and barbecue stores do we have? She goes, yeah. I go, how many churches do we have? She goes, good point. Just as many churches as barbecue places. They want everybody to get involved. So that was our motto that she's now taken with it. Like, why not?
That's right.
That's it. Yep. And like you were saying, I mean, everybody uses everybody's rub. I mean, there's not a lot I haven't tried.
That's right.
Yep.
So, do you have any barbecue mentors?
Of course. I'm going to say that Mike Mills and Pat Burke are two of my competition mentors. They were some of the best people to ever cook. I mean, John David Wheeler, can't leave him off the list. Even Myron. I mean, he was inspiring. I can remember sitting at home and and watching him win Memphis in May for the first time in 1996 and telling my mom I'm going to beat him one day. And I remember her saying, he uses only peach wood. They were telling that on the news. And Myron's a great guy. We do business together on some avenues. I mean, great guy. He's nothing like TV portrays him. But on the business side of things in the barbecue world, who can not help? Famous Dave and Sweet Baby Ray kind of geared me to change to my name. When I left Victory Lane Barbecue, I'm sure both of you know I was involved with that team and everything else. And I kind of seen them, and they were like, when are you going to do this on your own and put it on your name, and everybody knows you, and you're the face of it anyway. And making that jump, you know what I mean, and that investment on your own and all that, it's a lot to take in. And I talked to my wife and I said, you know what, it's time to do this. And me and American Express just said, forget it, we're gonna try it. And so, talking about minimums, Brian, and all that, I had a good name built up already, and I went and put about 30 grand on a credit card and said, I'm either going to pay $500 a month or I'm going to make a go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And within 4 months, I was cash flow positive, and we made a go at it and been that way ever since. Been very fortunate, very blessed, but, I hope that we just built a base so far. I'm ready to go up now.
Yep. That's where I'm at. We got 7 flavors. We're redesigning the labels since we got tons of awards with the rubs. So I'm like, let's redesign the labels and let's just start knocking it out.
Make sure you go with digitally printed until you figure out what you really want to go mass quantity and start buying plates and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, with the small co-packer, it's easy. They're like, we can only handle so much. They're literally, their whole area is maybe 1,000 square foot. They are small.
I got you. I might know who's making your stuff in. Might. Is it Grumpy Man?
Is that no? If that's the name, no.
No.
There's the owner of it's Grumpy. I can tell you that. But
well, I think most of them are in that business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's not who's making it. But I mean, he's a great guy. His kids are great who do it with him. It's like 4 people.
Oh,
that's all there are. So when they go on vacation, the place is shut down, and you place an order. They're like, "Hey, we'll be out of town, or we need like 3 weeks because we won't be here." Yep.
I bet that's a logistical nightmare.
It's fun.
It's fun. I've been there and done that before.
So, what's your favorite thing about barbecue?
I mean, I would lie to you if I didn't tell you the people. I mean, just the people that I've met along the way with barbecue has been incredible. And I know I should probably say the food or something like that, but I think when you see the people's passion that have a passion for barbecue amongst other communities out there, you don't really see anybody fighting and raising sand at a barbecue or, not having a good time. When you think about a barbecue, everybody's having a good time. Usually most people's having a cocktail or a cold beer, and they're just enjoying life. And so that's the way I look at it. Barbecue has brought a lot of peace and stability to my mind, and a lot of incredible friendships that I'm going to take to the grave with people that are just incredible across this country. And for me, I don't know. That's all I want to get from it. I mean, just that, the people, the relationships, I love it.
So when and what made you decide to start your own YouTube channel?
I mean, honestly, selling products, needed something to kind of push it. So, of course, we were already doing social media with the platforms, and we just decided to start, my wife started filming me at home, and we kind of started slow, and then that rolled into better camera equipment and more filming. And then now understanding the business as a whole, I mean, if you're not doing video content, it's kind of hard to really get out there to the masses. I mean, because you're not putting that product out on social media in front of thousands of people. And when you do a YouTube channel, that video is going to live there forever instead of like Facebook is going to get buried up in your feed and somebody, got to go look for it and find it. And so on Facebook, if you use the right keywords and everything else, that recipe might pop up. And so then somebody's going to find out what you do and how you do it and what you're using. And circling bit is just a full circle. And so you got to have that marketing and branding with the product if you're going to sell to the mass majorities.
We have maybe watched a few of your videos to get some ideas on some editing and some.
Well, believe me, I'm not any good at all that kind of stuff. That's somebody else. All I do is just look ugly for the camera.
Well, whoever does your editing does a dang good job. That's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, do you have any tips or tricks you're willing to share for anybody that's wanting to get started either in barbecue or barbecue competitions?
I would say that, don't just go out there and waste thousands of dollars anymore. I think you need to search out some of the best people that are really striving in their game and go out and take some classes, 2 or 3 classes. That's going to be up to a $2,000 investment if you take 2 to 3 classes. And really, I think that will really up your game and get you to where you need to be. And then I think you need to figure out, your cooking techniques and style, and you need to practice and get everything down pat before you go out there and really start honing in on the craft. If not, you're just going to throw money away for no good reason. Yep. And so it's barbecue is not like going to the lake. You can't just go buy a nice cooker and a nice set of ribs and the seasonings from anybody and go out there and just throw them on there and expect to have a great day, because you're going to work your tail off trying to win that trophy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not like going to the lake on that nice boat. You know what I mean? You got to actually put in a little more work for it. And it's definitely a labor of love. And any advice I can give anybody, buy a Thermopen. It's just that simple. And learn your finish temps and learn what food is supposed to feel like. And that is something no one can teach you. I mean, for me, I can have that Thermopen, but I can also take a toothpick and slide it in a brisket or a butt or ribs or whatever and go, okay, we're good to go. I mean, that Thermopen, even when I'm reading until a certain point, I can turn my head. I'm not worried about what the thing says. I want to know what that feel is like going in there.
Yeah. I had a buddy that I cooked with for my master judging class, and he won the Royal. I think it was 09. But we were talking. He said, take that thermometer, use it, but put tape over it pretty much. Or just, he said, you'll know when it's done when it goes in. And I've gotten almost to that point. I test ribs with a toothpick. I know when it goes in. And
that's right. You can get really consistent with pulling it like brisket. Say you're pulling a brisket at 204, 205, right? That's your magic number. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not cooking the same brisket every week. You don't know the life of that cow. You don't know what it was like. And I mean, I've had hogs before. You can kind of tell, I can, on which side the hog has like got up off the ground with his front shoulder or her front shoulder every time, right? That butt and that shoulder is going to take longer to finish out than the one that was not overworked on one side. And I'm always pointing to the left side, because most pigs stand up with the right foot. If you'll notice, some of them stand up with both. But you're building muscle when you do that, and all the fiber and the collagen's in it. So one's going to always be stronger than the other. Just like if you're right-handed, you're more right-hand stronger than you are left, right? And that has to relate to an animal as well. I mean, I've had a lot of hogs finish within 16 hours, but I cooked one time, 26 hours, and I had that pit up to 300 and something degrees, 325, 330. I couldn't get the ham done, no matter what you done to it. The loin was still tough in it. So you don't never know how that hog was treated before it got to you, or the life of it, or, you can tell all that. Same way with a cow. I mean, I've had, how many briskets have you had with a big bruise on? What do you think that's from? That's from another cow kicking that cow in the chest, more than likely. I mean, cooking's just got a science to it, just like everything else. You just got to think about it long enough.
Yep. Mitchell Bedwell said it's been a pleasure cooking with you over the years.
Yes.
And Mitchell's my road dog. He's rode with me a lot, and I met him in Galax, Virginia, with a good buddy of mine years ago, Tommy Houston. And Mitchell's a master judge, and kind of started cooking with me and hanging out. Now he does a lot, and actually does some work for us on the side, and helps with the team liaison, and trying to get him into some sales side for us actually now.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, Brian, that's all I had. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, how was When Pigs Fly? I saw that you were down there.
Man, that was a great benefit and fundraiser. I would definitely do it again. They want to take that event on the road. But, cold outside and having an indoor arena like that and people inside, I'm going to tell you, Brian, that is something that's really unique.
Hmm.
And I think if it's done the right way, they might be onto something.
Yep, that's
Um,
what I was thinking.
I mean, they might be onto something with all that. I mean, depending on regulations and where it's at and whatnot. I mean, just in the winter months when you can't really barbecue and you're looking for big fundraisers, even having air conditioning going and all that in one of those big things and having events, I think it could really turn into something really good.
Yep.
Well, that's like you already have the cooker, so you have half the stuff you have to haul down there, so you can throw a table and a few things in the back of a car and go down and cook it.
Well, they already had tables for you and everything. So
Wow.
And they supplied the meat. So everybody was doing circles of the same thing. And so it was a great deal. I mean, all you had to do was bring your spices and your supplies and go. I mean, that was it. There were tables there and all. You hang some signs up and banners, and it was just off to the races.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yep.
So,
well, I got nothing else.
So what's your future look like? Have you said you're going to do a little more competing, or you're just going to kind of stay where you're at? Or
Yeah, I'm going to do a little more competing. Now, like I said, I'll do at least 4 to 5 contests this year. But for us, the focus is honestly just distribution, getting as many stores as we can. And when I'm not going to say we've made it yet, but we've laid a good foundation down, and I think now all we have to do is build on that to keep going. I mean, because if you back off on something, it's going to fall off, right? And so now it's the time to kind of start turning the heat up, kind of deal. And I mean, I kind of went from where Brian was at, going to an MBBQA and winning awards, and that was in 2011, 2012, 2013. That's when I was entering those rub contests and doing that kind of stuff. And it's a 10-year battle to get where I'm at now. And it's, I'll tell you, like other people told me, there's ways you can shave some years off of that. But man, you're going to double work yourself that whole year to do it. I mean, it's the truth. You got to have the content and that's really the foundation work here. You need to have the content before you really have the product line. And we didn't do that. You really need to put the cart in front of the horse first. You know what I mean? You need to put the horse in front of the cart. And so it's for us now, if we're going to develop a product, we need to have content available for that product before we roll out with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, there's a lot of planning goes into what we do now and a lot of strategy. And then you got to look down the road. You got so many holidays coming, you can't wait till a week out to plan for May or, it's 4th of July. I mean, you got to be working on that in April. I mean, just to get content ready to go out against 7 different channels and how you're going to strategize and what you're going to put out when and how you're going to get it out to your customers. And so now it's a game of planning the quarters for us throughout the year, getting ahead of the curve. I mean, that's all we're trying to do now. That's it. Be prepared. Do as much as you can.
Yeah, I got an event in September we do out here. It's a 3-day just sales event, but I always plan like around May, June, get all the stuff I need, start promotion for it, and then we go set up and sell for 3 days.
That's right. It's definitely a lot of planning goes.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, if you got nothing else, Brian, we'll let Heath enjoy the rest of his day. I'm sure he's plenty busy.
Sounds good.
Gonna have another meeting, I'm sure.
Well, thank you for coming on. We really, really appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank y'all for having me. And let me know if I can ever do anything for you. And Brian, if you need something, man, hit me up. I'll be glad to point you in some right directions, man.
Yeah, I'll do some more talking with my wife on what our ideas are, and then I'll reach out either through Facebook Messenger or send you guys an email and try to get connected.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Thank you.
All right,
thanks,
man.
Heath.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.